Hello, what is going on, you guys, and welcome back to my Dark Souls 3 playthrough, ride, thing, whatever you guys know. Now, this is a bit of a different video because I am not actually talking while playing the game. I'm doing post-commentary. I think that's what it's called at least. And honestly, I don't know how this is gonna work. I couldn't do commentary for like normal because I was talking to people while I was playing this, so I knew I needed to get a video to you guys, so here it is. Now I am going to be putting a ton of points into my intelligence for this build because from past experiences, I have not been able to beat the game with, like, intelligence builds because I didn't put enough points into intelligence. That's the only thing about doing a magic build with this game, because you need to put so many points into intelligence. Like, you need to be dedicated to that, because to do damage to, like, the in-game bosses, you have to, have high-level things. Like, I think for the soul spear, what does a ton of damage to bosses towards the end of the game, takes like 46 intelligence to use. So that's quite high of a skill to be upgrading. And honestly, I feel like intelligence-based builds are mainly for PvP type things. Like, all of the spells that you can cast all go back to PvP type aspects, like magic weapons, hidden bodies, and just things like that. So that's why I think it's not really a PvE build, but I want to do it just to do it, because I've never actually beaten one of these games with an intelligence build. If you want to make the game easy, like for yourself, do a night build, because night builds very easy to make. You do a ton of damage. You don't need to worry about nothing but strength, vitality, and endurance. And if you want to do, I don't know, miracles on the side, then just put a few points into your attunement, get it to 10, so you can have one attunement slot, and put enough points to where you can have the heal aid, like you see down on the bottom left corner of mine. And you can use it, and even though your health gets like very high towards the end of the game, and that's still a very elementary spell, you can still heal a lot of things. You can pop off on your health without having to use an Estus. Like, I remember I used to clear areas out with just using that, and I didn't use any of my Estus. That's how reliable those can be. Now, you might be wondering why I'm turning around. I'm actually going to the first thing, the first light that you have to get rid of. You have to get rid of 3 to open up the boss of this area. The first Lord Ascender. And this one is one of them. Oh. And just another thing about builds and all of that. Faith builds. Not bad builds, but the only thing about it is you can't do very much damage, because faith builds are strictly around healing, and I think the only damage, like the only kind of attack that those have, I'm pretty sure, is the lightning bolts. And that does a ton of damage, but it's not very reliable as to like having soul spears, because soul spears do a ton of damage. Those do significant damage, but I feel like most enemies in the game are less resilient to magic than they are to light or faith, whatever you call it in this game. So that's what I think about faith builds. They're good for healing, not very good for damage. That's why I've never done one. Now, for dex builds, I'd say they're not bad builds, but you have to do like a dex with buffs build. It's not very hard to do. all you'd have to do is put points, enough points to have a great magic weapon. That's a sorcery. Put enough points in to have however many times you want to use it for your magic. And yeah, it's a pretty good build. It makes the game a lot more easier because if you use magic like onto your weapon plus your base damage, like your physical, yeah, that guy scared me when I was playing this. I didn't know what was happening. But once you do that, all you need to do is put points into dex, and that's it. And you just keep going with the dex, health, and endurance. Endurance is a key part to having a dex build. It's a key part to having most builds, but dex is the most useful for what I've seen because you want to be swinging a lot. It's not like a strength build where you want to hit like 3 times and you do like 1,000 damage. No, if you hit 3 times with the dex build, you're only going to do about nearly 500, maybe 600 damage. Whereas with the strength build, 3 times would be 1,000. Depends on what sword you're using and who you're fighting, but still. And I don't even know what else to talk about, honestly. I didn't think I'd actually get this far. Let's talk about this area. This is not, it's not my favorite area in the whole game. Mainly because you're walking in something that you can't move around in. You're walking in mud. I couldn't find that word. You're walking around in mud half the time. And the scaleless looking dragons don't help you with that either. They will kill you in like 2 hits on New Game. Not New Game Plus, but just New Game 1. Which is why I kind of don't like this area mostly, because if you want any of the good loot of this area, you have to go and fight those things. Now you can cheat about 3 of them out. Yeah, 3 of them. You can cheat 3 of them out with the bow. I will show you guys where that's at. I didn't do it because I don't really want the item. If you want the item, go ahead and do it. I'm pretty sure it's a composite bow. If you want to do a build with that. Composite bow is like the fastest bow, like of all of them. It even has a special stat where you can like shoot 5 arrows in the span of like 2 seconds. So it's very like, it's like a dex bow basically. All those are dex bows, but I feel like that one, because it's so fast, it does like a ton of damage like added up. Now, after this part, like once you get all of these things, these I call them bells sometimes because I don't know, but once you get all of these lights, the fire, once you get all of those, you can just head up to the boss. Literally the next area is the boss. The door that you go through is the lead up to him, and he is a pretty hard boss. He's not extremely difficult, but I don't know, you guys will see whenever I get there, but he can kill you in like 3 hits on New Game. And it's not that good, but he can die pretty easy though. Like I seen on like a YouTube video, when 2 people were co-oping this game, literally it took them like not even a minute to get the boss to its 2nd stage. That's just to show you how weak that boss is. It takes a ton of damage, and I bet if you had like a sorcery build with like somebody distracting it, you could probably kill it very fast. And backstabbing it takes away like about 15% of his health, so that's something. Not to mention whenever you attack him, he like, you stun him every time. He doesn't have that much poise. So it's not recommended for a strength build unless you have a fast like sword. Most strength builds have like heavy great swords that swing very slow, but not in this case. I don't have one because I'm making a build with the ethereal straight sword. That's what it's called. So I got to stun him a little bit, but I didn't have very much stamina, so I couldn't get that many hits in. I got enough hits in to do good damage, but not as many as I wanted to do. Now, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out some more things for the next 9 minutes of this recording. I'm trying to figure out like what to talk about whenever I'm explaining this boss. This is a very short Souls game. Like, compared to Dark Souls 1, it's very... Oh, this is the bridge that you can snipe those guys on. If you just look to your right, from the way that I'm walking, you can see those dragons. So, there's that spot that you can snipe at. And this game is probably the shortest Souls game I've ever played. Bloodborne is the most shortest, but it's not like a Souls game, so I'm not gonna include that. But this is the sort of Souls game out of like Demon Souls, Bloodborne. I said Bloodborne, Demon Souls, Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2, and Dark Souls 2 is easily the longest one in the game series. It has like the first area of the game, like just to get basically use Dark Souls 1 as an example, to get out of Lordsman in Dark Souls 2, it took me like 3 to 4 hours. Actually, I'm pretty sure 6. And I still haven't beaten that game, and I'm like 16 hours in. And I don't know, it's the longest Souls game. Demon Souls is a bit in the middle. Dark Souls 1 is middle, kind of. It's definitely longer than this game, so I'd say it's a pretty long game. It's next to Dark Souls 2, then Demon Souls, then this game. I get wrecked by this this asylum demon up here, and I died like twice to him, but you're only gonna see me die one time because I took the second time out because it was just, I felt like I was wasting too much time. I've never actually gotten like, I'm just trying to figure out some things to talk about. I've never actually gotten like the chance to play the Dark Souls 1 DLC, you know, the one with Artorias and the Abyss. I've never actually gotten to play that, but I did see a full playthrough of it, and that DLC looks pretty cool. That is Covenant for a trophy. It's a PvP Covenant, so if you guys want to make some souls on the side, some farming, that is the place to do it. And you also get a jester, so who doesn't like jesters? Okay, now this guy right here he's pretty difficult if you don't know how to fight him. Now, he's normally gonna do this attack. He's either gonna do this attack, additionally, this one, or an overhead swing. Not like that one, but he like slams the ground like that. And you normally, if you want to dodge that attack, you roll towards him. And always try to stay under him. I don't know why I backed off. Because he just does that, and then you have no stamina. And see, once you get like right next to him, you can attack him a few times. And if I just stayed in there and I just kept dodge rolling, I feel like I could have just killed him, but that's the only downside to him. If you stay next to him for too long, he will grab you, and that's basically a one-hit kill. at least at my house. And I didn't show it, but I did die there. Now, there's not really much more to talk about this boss. He's not like, well, he's not a boss, but he's a mini boss. I feel like if they give you over 10,000 souls, then that is a mini boss. Not to mention, if you use his soul that he gives you at the end of this, he'll give you 2,000. Not 2,000, 20,000. So, that's a good thing. Now, upon this next part, I'm going to be fighting the boss, so enjoy.